everybody. Excited utterance here. Just a tad late, and I wasn't going to be late. Right? I wasn't. I wasn't going to be late. I was going to be on time, but I changed my mind because of outside pressures. Mavka. Yes, because of outside pressures. Mavka said, Hella's going to be on time today. I know it. She won't let me down. And you know what? I was backstage with my good friend, Mr. Dali Ilya, Satchel T-Bone, and he said, Mavka really wants you to be on time today. And I said, fuck Mavka. Fuck Mavka. You know what that means? We're going to be late. I said, apparently Mavka wants us to be on time. So we will be delayed. Yes, Tracy Burton. You know what happened? I have never received this notification before. Hang on, I'll get Dali here. Hey.
My headphone broke.
Oh, wait, hey.
Hi.
Hello, everybody. Look, Sarah's here. Okay, Sarah just had to laugh at you. And look, Babu's there. He's also laughing at you.
Good Lord, he's looking at me like I'm an idiot, which he normally does whenever I F up something.
That was amazing.
God damn it. It's so annoying.
Today is just like everything is going wrong, right? Okay, so have you ever had this happen? You've gone to go live and it doesn't go live, and you get a thing that comes up on StreamYard and it says, we have a lot of traffic today. We will try to put you live in a moment.
Really?
Yeah. And it didn't go live. And I had to press it again. But meanwhile, my video is already playing, like, the intro thing was already playing. And I was like, oh, crap. So I pressed it again. You never had that happen? I've never had it happen.
I've heard of it happening once, I think.
Look at my kitty cat. Seraph would like to say, hi, everybody. I'm feeling much better.
Aww.
Not completely better, but I'm much better. And this morning, I ate some breakfast on my own.
Aww.
Yeah.
A good kitty.
I sent a little video to Dali to show.
She did?
Yeah. He was eating on his own, like from his bowl on his own. Yep. Red meat so he can get his iron up.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
I was wondering.
He was eating. That was actually roux meat.
What meat?
Kangaroo meat.
Oh, roux meat. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We feed the kangaroo meat to the animals.
Won't somebody think of the roux?
No. It's fine. They're pests.
Was it cooked?
No. It was raw. You saw it. It was red.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So he was eating his roux meat, and it's because roux meat is really high in iron.
Yeah.
Really, really high in iron.
Muscle.
Yeah. So both the cats and the dogs eat that. And because he was a bit anemic, so his red blood count was right down. So he really, really needs to eat a lot of red meat and like liver and stuff like that. And so I was feeding him like kitten food, like, the really pasty stuff, like through a syringe.
Yeah.
For the last few days, just like, here, open your mouth up and yeah, like that. But yeah, today for the first day, he ate it on his own. I'm so proud of him. So yeah, Mama Hella is very happy to see him starting to act a bit more normal and a little bit. He's also a bit more affectionate. Oh, yeah. So, Ru's a deer who've been to prison. Yeah, you're right, online. Ru's are like deer. They just run into your car and everything's up. Yeah, you should see some of the accidents that happen with Ruth. My brother was driving down the highway once, and a roo got in the way, and
good
the
brother?
whole front of his car was the good brother.
I don't know, the one you
Yeah,
get along with?
yeah, he was actually the
Okay.
one I got along with. Yeah, and yeah, the whole front of his car was like smashed in.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
didn't
if he's
feed him with
going
a suppository. No, through the mouth. Goodness me. Yeah. Anyway, so guys, I've had to spend about, I don't know, $1,500 on vet fees and bloods and um medication and stuff on this guy. Oh, look at you. In the last week, so I'm a bit poor. So any donations, I really appreciate. Up in the link up there, PayPal and the coffee link, they don't take any YouTube fees from
yeah,
me. So I really
YouTube is
appreciate. I've
our
already
stuff.
had yeah, I've already had Candy M this morning. Thank you so much for your
Aw.
donation. Want to just mention that. I don't know if she's in chat yet, but thank you for that. And I'll try and mention anybody else that I see come through. So thank you so much. And let's get into it. Something you gonna? Is there anything you could do about that?
My headphone?
Yeah.
No, it works. This side works, so I just have to. It just is flaccid over here. It will just kind of dangle. I guess I could see if I have some blue pills, but I
Hey Ma, how's it going?
was gonna get a new pair of headphones, but forgot.
Okay, so my daughter's broken about 8 pairs of headphones, and she just gaffer tapes them up.
Yeah, I have some duct tape.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, all right. Mushroom murders. We are up to, I was losing count, week 4-ish or so. So we're having a week 4-ish Mushy Fest. So I think we're in the middle of week 4, pretty sure. Pretty sure that's where we're at. Finding it really hard to work it out. Yeah, it's hanging around. It's hanging around. So stuff's happened, guys. So let's just, I think last time we did a week 3-ish something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just do a little recap. Story happens around there. Yeah. So bottom of Australia.
Just the tip.
Almost bottom of Australia. Just the bottom tip. Near the bottom tip. So in Victoria. You okay, mate? All right.
Yeah, I'm okay.
No, not you. At lunchtime.
Why is this trial so long? That's a good point, Mavka.
Why is this trial so long?
Yeah.
Because there's about 50,000 experts, right? And all the experts are like some sort of toxicologist or mushroom specialist or doctor or some crap like that.
Then
right?
Again, I guess Mark Jensen's trial was really long as well.
Yeah, poisoning trials.
Poison, yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to do the
And plus there's
searches.
a lot of family involved and stuff. Oh, we're getting to the computer stuff today as well.
My favorite part.
Ooh. Right? Okay, so let's like, yes, it's a long trial. And then we're not even over to the defense yet. All right, so the guests. So we have Erin Patterson, the chef. We have the estranged husband, the escapee, Simon Patterson. We have his parents, Gail Patterson and Don Patterson. Rest in peace. They died. We have the sister of Gail Patterson. Also, rest in peace. She didn't make it. And we have the survivor, Ian Wilkinson, who was married to Heather Wilkinson. So she managed to get all these people to come to lunch, but her estranged husband said, no, I'm not coming to lunch that day. Sorry, beef Wellington is not for me.
How far is this from you?
I'm here.
Yeah, so that's quite a ways.
A long way.
Like 10 hours?
No more than that. 10 hours. And that's there. So it's probably double that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a long way.
An America-sized country or continent.
Well, okay, so America is slightly wider than our country. So America is about that wide.
Okay.
So we're about 70 to 80% as wide as the US.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this all happened on the 29th. This is important, actually. This happened on the 29th of July, 2023. That date, keep that date in your mind today, guys, because some stuff's going to occur around that date that we're going to talk about today. Okay. The drama. So this happened. A juror got dismissed, guys.
Ooh. She should do a YouTube stream on it.
She should. She should. Okay.
Shall we? Today, we heard more bombshell testimony in the Leongatha mushroom murder trial. The court gaining further insight into Erin Patterson's
Michael Proctor
relationships
takes a
and
stand.
the toxicology results of her lunch guests. The prosecution today delving deeper into Erin and Simon's troubled relationship. A child protection worker recounting a conversation she had with Erin 3 days after the fatal lunch, where she described Simon's parents, Don and Gail Patterson, as
the parents she hadn't had. They'd always treated her like a daughter-in-law. That relationship had changed recently. She felt isolated from them.
She says Erin described Simon as controlling and emotionally abusive, telling her their relationship had soured over child support.
Do you think she might have called him a
He was always bitching about her cooking.
Support payments.
She felt like that's the time he had become nasty towards her.
The conversation then turned to the fatal beef Wellington lunch.
That looks delicious.
She said that she'd found in a recipe tin Eats cookbook and that she wanted to do something new and special.
Ms. Cripps told the court she asked if Erin had picked the mushrooms. Erin did not answer, instead looking at her phone. The court then heard more testimony about the serving of the lunch. Claims Erin didn't decide which plates her guest ate off.
She said she had dished up all the plates and everyone came and chose their own.
Mushrooms.
She took one that was left over and put two aside for the children.
The state's chief toxicologist also took the stand, detailing what's considered a lethal dose of death cap mushroom toxins.
They're very toxic compounds, so for a 70-kilogram adult, it's about 3 tablespoons.
Confirming these toxins were detected in samples from Don and surviving guest Ian, but were not found in samples from Gail and Heather, or from Erin Patterson.
They have a very short half-life, which means they don't persist in the body for a long time.
Leftovers recovered from Erin's property, as well as food traces from the dehydrator found at the local tip, both came back positive for death cap mushrooms. Erin Patterson has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
10 News First reporter Samantha Butler is in Morwell. She joins us
innocent,
now. Sam,
everybody.
there's been some breaking news about a juror. What's happened?
Yeah, well, the jury now has one fewer member. Justice Christopher Beale brought them into the court today and told them that he had decided to discharge a juror because he'd received information that particular juror had been discussing the case with their friends and family, and he believed that information to be credible. Now, that is a no-no for any member of a jury. They are instructed at the start of the trial.
I know.
Oops, sorry. No, oopsie, I messed up.
Shall we? Today, we heard more bombshell testimony in the Leongatha mushroom.
Yeah, I know.
Didn't a juror from Karen
Shall we?
get
Today, we
dismissed
heard
today
more
as well?
bombshell testimony in the Leongatha mushroom murder.
So I just wanted to say, like this
Of a jury, they are.
this is how lawyers should dress.
Mm.
Like look
Like
at
sexy
this.
pilgrims.
Look at them.
I got something
Like-
to be thankful for.
Shut up. Right? And judges too, right? None of this freaking bow ties and freaking, pinstripe suits and crap like that.
Well, the
They're
prosecutor
taking their
dresses
job
like
seriously.
the prosecutor dresses like she just got into a fight with her girlfriend and stormed out of the apartment.
She doesn't actually go into the courtroom like that. She wears that. She wears the silks.
Okay, well, I'm saying she goes into the courthouse looking like that.
And okay, so Silent G. Hey, Baldo Washer, how's it going? Silent G. They take those wigs off as soon as they freaking can because they itch like fuck.
Yeah, because they're probably full of lice.
Horrible. They're made of like horsehair, right?
Ugh.
Like they're like the tail or the mane or some shit, right? They're really, really coarse. They're horrible. A
No
horse is
wonder
a
we
horse, a horse is a
rebelled.
horse. Yeah. Right? But yeah, apparently they're itchy as fuck. So as soon as they get the hell out of the courtroom, even also because they look stupid walking around the street like that, right? But they and not as stupid as Dali right now.
Hey, I resent that.
Sorry. No, I mean, have you seen yourself? Okay, sorry, I had to just give it to our silks. I mean, come on, they look beautiful.
Yes.
They are instructed at the start of the trial not to discuss the case with anyone aside from their fellow jurors in the privacy of the jury
She
room.
looks like she's got a fight with her girlfriend and is leaving the apartment.
Yeah, that's the prosecutor. She should be riding on a lawnmower with her girlfriend.
Or a broom.
Or a broom.
Yeah,
It doesn't massively derail proceedings by any means. There were 15 jurors that were impaneled at the start of this trial in case of things like illness or other unforeseen circumstances, but only 12 will ultimately have to deliver verdicts on each of those 4 charges that Erin Patterson is facing. If there are still 14 remaining at the end of the trial when it comes time to deliberate, then they will use a ballot system to decide who has to return those verdicts.
Samantha, what did the toxicologist have to add?
Okay, wait. So did we miss it? So the juror, we're being silly and we missed it. The juror got dismissed because they were discussing details of the case with their family and friends.
What are they, law tubers?
Yeah, right. Okay, so kind of Juror 101, don't discuss the case.
Well, maybe they wanted to make beef Wellington and we're trying to find out a recipe.
Oh, yeah, oopsie. Couldn't help it. Geez, I wonder who dubbed her in. And I assume it's a her.
Probably. Women.
Yeah, to me, this was really quite interesting evidence. Victoria's chief toxicologist got up in court today and told the jury that there was evidence of death cap mushroom toxins found in samples taken from leftovers of the lunch and also in samples taken from a dehydrator, which was dumped at a local tip. Now, you might remember yesterday we heard from mushroom expert Dr. Camille Truong, and she told the court that she examined samples from the leftovers on 2 occasions, not once but twice, and found no trace of death cap mushrooms. But it was explained to the court today that was a visual.
Okay, so this made like headlines and people did double takes all over the place and went, oh, but some mushroom expert looked at the remains and said that not once but twice she looked at them and said that there was no evidence of death cap mushrooms in the remains of the lunch, right? So she's innocent, right? And then they get another mushroom expert. How many freaking mushroom experts do they need? And then this was found out.
Visual examination, whereas the toxicologists were looking for chemical components which wouldn't be able to be seen under a microscope. We also heard some more about the test results for the lunch.
So then they get a toxicologist to go through the actual remains and they find that there's compounds in that couldn't be just seen, right? So why do they have someone up on the stand to say that they couldn't see death cap mushrooms in the remains? It's a freaking paste, right? She mushed it all up. Oh, I can't see it, so therefore there's no trace of it. What's the point of that person being up on the stand when they're going to bring somebody else up on the stand? They're going to bring a toxicologist up to say, I did find death cap mushrooms under the
traces of it, but I couldn't see it with my actual eye, but I had to use a microscope. So you can get the same evidence out to the jury.
But it's
with
2
just
different
one
witnesses. Yeah. So why bring the other witness?
Because
why bring the witness?
Prosecutors like to dazzle with bullshit. The more
the
witnesses.
first witness was no good to them.
Yeah, but they just put stuff out in front of the jury, all these useless facts to dazzle them. Dazzle with bullshit.
That just confused them. It confused the public, I know that.
Well,
And
yeah, it's confusing. That's the point. And then
Yeah.
they think, oh, well, there's all this evidence, 6 weeks of testimony. It must mean she's really guilty.
really guilty.
Yeah.
And probably a narcissist.
Narcissist, too.
Like-
Yeah, of course.
Guests, and we heard that Erin Patterson, in fact, did not have any trace of death cap mushroom toxins in samples that were taken from her when she was in hospital after the lunch, complaining of gastro symptoms. And that is consistent with the evidence that we've heard from medical experts throughout this trial so far. They found no trace of liver damage and no sign that she was suffering from death cap mushroom poisoning.
The child protection worker who gave evidence today, what else did she say about
Jesus.
Erin's relationship with Simon?
Yeah, well, Katrina Cripps was in the witness box for several hours today. She was a child protection worker in July 2023, and she became involved in this investigation after Erin Patterson claimed that her children had eaten leftovers from the meal. She spoke to Erin Patterson on a couple of occasions. The first time was while Erin Patterson was in hospital after the lunch, claiming to have gastro symptoms. And they had discussions about the broader relationship that she had with her estranged husband and the rest of the extended family. Now, as you've heard, Erin Patterson told her that Simon had become quite controlling at times and emotionally abusive, and that their relationship really deteriorated in about September 2022 when she asked him to start making child support payments. The relationship between Erin and Simon Patterson and Erin and the broader extended family has really been under the microscope throughout this trial. It's been brought up every week so far, but it's important to note that the prosecution never actually put forward a motive during their openings for these alleged murders, 3 alleged murders and 1 attempted murder. But that was not required. They do not have to prove a motive in order to have those offences proved. But you know, at the end of the day, Erin Patterson is accused of deliberately poisoning these people. That is something that she denies, and she has pleaded not guilty.
And what did Erin tell her about the lunch itself?
It was delicious.
Yeah, well, Katrina Cripps told the jury that Erin told her that she had used a combination of mushrooms, both from Woolworths and from an Asian grocer. And she said that Erin Patterson had told her she thought the mushrooms from the Asian grocer would add a nice flavour to the meal. She also told the jury that Erin had said she'd planned to originally use the mushrooms in a carbonara a couple of months earlier, but when she'd opened the packet, they had a really strong smell and she thought it would be too overpowering. That was something that stuck out to me, given that we have heard from several mushroom experts this week who have said that that is a feature of death cap mushrooms, that they do have a really strong smell. She also detailed a phone call that Ms. Patterson had with a Department of Health official in the days after the lunch, where Erin Patterson claimed that she couldn't find any bank transaction from this Asian grocer. And the way she explained that was by saying that if it was a small purchase, she probably paid in cash. Now, we are still a little way off finishing with this trial. We will be back here tomorrow, and we are
Righto.
You know, with those Asian grocers, they're good with math, so I just pay them in cash, and they enjoy math, and they can figure out how much to give me back in change. Don't you know?
Don't you know? Thank you
I
very
just
much.
love that Asian grocer.
What, do you guys not say that?
No, it's a little... It could be considered a little racist.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't offend me. I think it's hilarious. It's kind of, to me, a little racial.
Yes, that's what we call it.
No, I know, and it's just, I don't know. It's like she's throwing the Asians under the bus.
Well, if you bought it from an Asian grocer, you bought it from an Asian.
Yeah, but it's like you're saying Asians eat weird stuff and they're irresponsible and don't have good food safety practices. Is how I take it.
She just bought it from an Asian grocer. It's simple as that.
Okay, well, it sounds like she's trying to say those pesky Asians gave me the wrong. I don't know.
No, you lefty.
Doesn't offend me. I think it's hilarious. It's just it kind of is racial.
Are you? Yeah, I think you are offended.
Oh yeah, very.
Duh. Death Cap webpage accessed on computer seized from Erin Patterson's home, court told.
Well, I bet the computer expert won't be as traumatized after the search.
Mm-hmm. Death Cap webpage accessed on computer seized from Erin Patterson's home. An online post about a death cap mushroom sighting was accessed on a computer seized from Erin Patterson's home. A court has heard. Oh my God. Oh, things are getting serious for Erin now. Digital forensics officer Shaman Fox Henry. That's a particularly lame name. Shaman Fox Henry, who works for Victoria Police, so therefore he must be an expert, told
Wait,
the
Shannon?
Supreme Court.
Shaman.
Shaman.
Good
Fox
Lord.
Henry. He's got a hyphenated name. He's a hyphenated name, bitch.
Was he married?
I don't know.
Is that him? It's a male?
That's him. Look at him.
Okay, but men don't
Look.
usually do the whole hyphenated last names.
No, only if they're
It's women who get married and want to keep their last name, like Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Or like Joseph Scott Morgan.
Is that a woman?
Don't you know who Joseph Scott Morgan is? He's that dickhead who gets on Nancy Grace sometimes, and he thinks he's a DNA expert.
If she's rich, you do. Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're really famous, maybe.
Bryce is here. Hello, Laura. Hey, mate, it's good to have you. This is too close for comfort for you. You got to watch out for what's growing out there. Do you have these near you? The English do hyphenated names at the drop of a hat. Oh, they do, don't they? You're right. Maybe he does look a bit English. Look at him. Look at that. Look at that, like, lighting that's falling on him. It's quite sort of dramatic.
It looks like he's about to go mushroom hunting.
Yes.
Give you a mushroom stamp.
So digital forensics officer Shaman Fox Henry, who worked for Victoria Police, told the Supreme Court jury sitting at Morwell that data records on a computer seized from the accused woman's home showed the device was used to access the website on May 28th, 2022.
That was my attempt at gasping.
Fox Henry said the data from the iNaturalist website, not iNaturist, website visit showed the computer accessed a listing about death caps at Bricker Reserve in Moorabbin, in Melbourne's southeastern suburbs about 7:23 p.m. that day. The listing has been posted by a person named Ivan on May 18, 2022. I wonder if it is a coincidence that Ivan is the name of our most prolific serial killer. The Lat.
How many did he do?
Quite a lot.
Really?
He was the backpacker killer. Yeah.
When was this?
Oh, quite a long time ago. He's dead now.
Oh.
But yeah, Ivan. He said these results came after he was asked to analyze the data on the computer, including web search histories. Now, hang on. Okay, so I have a question about this, right? So these searches happened in 2022. So the listing had been posted by a person named Ivan, May 18, 2022. When did she search? Oh, yeah. The device was used to access the website May 28th, 2022. So let's highlight that, right?
Almost 3 years ago.
Yes, but that's then.
Yeah.
But But the actual lunch wasn't until
More
then.
than a year later.
Yeah, right. And do you recall how the listing by Funky Tom, remember last time how Funky Tom put onto the iNaturals website exactly where to find the death cap mushrooms? That wasn't until about 60 to 90 days before the death cap mushroom lunch, right? So it was about, I think it was March. Yeah, I think it was March or April of 2023, right? So this search that she conducted, it was like 14 months prior to the lunch and at least sort of 12, 11 months prior to there being a listing on this iNaturalist website at all that they're trying to link to the murders, right? So I'm like, not quite sure if this is adding up. Like, she searched for it, sure. But yeah, so what? She's into mushrooms. That's exactly what I'm getting at, Mavka. Like, she is into mushrooms. She's into foraging. She potentially has heard about there being these things out in the wild around there. And it was a long, long time prior to any of this happening, right? It's not necessarily connected to the thing from Funky Tom. The thing from Funky Tom and the thing from her going out necessarily foraging for mushrooms for the lunch. It's like the timing is too far separated. What?
So, Excel spreadsheet here. Welcome. According to court documents, Erin Patterson's estranged husband was hospitalized with a serial illness between May 25th and 27th, 2022.
Has that come into evidence, Excel spreadsheet? Because there was an attempted murder charge for that one, and it's been dropped. Right? So on the very first day of court, the separate him falling ill, supposedly because of what you said, that could be her first experiment and got away. Yes. So apparently, allegedly, she had tried to poison him back in 2022, right?
Right around the time of this search.
Allegedly.
Interesting.
Right? And we don't know with what.
Sure.
All we know is that he ate something and got sick, and apparently she made it for him. It was a sandwich or something, right? And he got quite sick. And she was facing an attempted murder charge for that. It got dropped on the very day that this trial started. So the jury hasn't heard anything of that, right? So we don't know. And the jury won't know. So we can't take that into consideration. We just can't. They can't bring it in. They can't bring it in. Unless the defense opens the door to it, they can't bring it in. It's like Corey Richards and her stupid egg sandwich. That was her first poisoning. Allegedly.
A lot of these people have a first attempt for these poisoning things. Even Mark Jensen.
But that got in. They were able to bring that in. Right? Yeah. Definitely fishy. The only thing is, the more I look at Miss Patterson, the more she looks like a mushroom. I'll stop. Nice to have you here, Excel spreadsheet, though. Thank you for that. If they can bring it in, I really doubt they can. Yes, I think the only way they can is if the defense opens the door to it, and I can't see them being silly enough to do that.
Unless Judge Newman is the judge.
Well, yeah. Okay. So we have a video about this latest thing. Can we bring that up? Dali's got it.
The jury has been shown searches for death cap mushrooms that were allegedly found on a computer seized from Erin Patterson's home. He was also told about a text message allegedly sent by the cook to Gail Patterson's phone weeks before the lunch. Court reporter Amber Johnston.
Forensic data specialist Sharman Fox Henry was asked to crack open a
No, look at
computer
him.
that was seized
Sharman.
from Erin Patterson's
Crack it
Leangatha
open.
home after the fateful lunch. The personal device was taken from the house on August 5, 2023.
Someone
The
got
prosecution
Canva.
alleging it had 3 hard drives which the data expert was asked to examine. He ran searches for keywords including death cap mushrooms, mushrooms and poison.
Wait. He ran he just went into the Windows search function like he was a middle-aged mom searching for porn on her teen's computer. Sex. Search. C. Okay. Nude. Okay. Poison. Okay. Mushroom.
That's how he did it.
That. Okay, that's a little not professional.
Is that really the protocol? Like, you just get the hard drives and you get a word and you search the word to see if it's ever come up prior.
I guess you could do an image and catalog everything and then search that way, but usually the computers have a way to kind of organize stuff, and I don't know, it seems very amateurish.
That's a bit. Maybe they're misrepresenting. Maybe it's far more complex than that, Ilya. Really?
Telling the jury that on May 28, 2022, 14 months
Oh boy, he's looking like he's about to lose his virginity at 40.
before the lunch, the Bing search engine was used to look up the iNaturalist website
Well, she
several
uses
times.
Bing. That's it. Guilty.
The court was shown a URL search that allegedly linked the page with a death cap mushroom observation 10 days beforehand at Moorabbin. Don't be tempted to put these URL searches into Google and conduct your own investigations, Justice Beale warned the jury. Prosecutor Jane Warren then revealed
you
that
might end
police
up in that
also
chair.
seized Gail Patterson's Samsung mobile after the lunch. It allegedly showed a text message from Erin Patterson
86?
that was sent on July 7, 2023. But before the jury could see
Look at that. How brazen of her. She's
We've
wearing
had this
86
conversation before. We don't know what that means. What does it mean?
to someone.
We don't know that. We have no idea what
Really?
86 means. No. What does 80 say? What do it again? Say it again. What does 86 mean?
It means to kill somebody.
Okay, we didn't know that.
Really?
No. Okay.
I'm being facetious, but in that I don't think that's her actual meaning, but it's a kind of a big
No.
thing right now in the US.
Really?
Yeah, because a former FBI director posted posted a picture of seashells saying
Yeah.
8647, and Trump is the 47th president. So it was like it could be construed as he was calling for the hit of President Trump,
Right.
and he used to be the FBI director.
All right. So we have T-shirts and stuff with numbers on them that mean nothing at all. Like,
I'm
a
sure
lot.
it means nothing, but
Yeah.
it's
Like,
just,
she would have bought that from Kmart.
Yeah.
And it would have meant nothing. Like,
I just found it funny that she of all people was wearing that.
and I still think she probably would have no clue what the Americans think that means.
I don't know
Like-
what the origin is of it.
Yeah, like, Laura, back me up on this. We don't know what 86 means, right? She's in chat. Yeah, you told me, like, you've seen this piece of footage of her before and
Did
gone,
I?
oh my God, 86. And I was like, what are you talking
How long
about?
ago was that?
Yeah. Well, when we talked about this a year ago. Yeah,
Okay,
see,
so when I was
we've
still
got no
drinking.
idea.
Okay. That's why I don't remember it.
you don't remember most things I say.
No, I have better memory now. I was like,
yeah.
wait, this sounds like a conversation I'd remember, but no, it was a year ago. Okay. Whew.
Yeah. See, Laura's with me. See, we've got no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Patterson,
completely innocent.
That was sent on July 7, 2023. But before the jury could see it, Mr. Fox Henry was dismissed for the day. The jury had a very delayed start today because of an issue the parties have been dealing with. Justice Bill told them court will start an hour later tomorrow at 11:30 so they can continue to work through the problem. Amber Johnston, 9 News.
Okay, so let's go back to my thing. Alrighty, so her phone records. So they have a mini siray, as most trials do. No one is quite siray though. So let's have a look.
Erin Patterson's triple murder trial has heard she visited 2 Gippsland towns where death cap mushrooms were growing in the lead up to the lethal lunch at her Leongatha home. The jury also heard from a poison specialist who logged a sighting of the deadly fungi in Loch 10 days before Ms. Patterson allegedly visited.
In the 2 months before Erin Patterson allegedly poisoned her relatives, prosecutors say she visited 2 Gippsland towns where death cap mushrooms were growing. Digital forensics expert Dr. Matthew Sorrell analysed Ms. Patterson's phone data for the 4 years leading up to the fatal lunch in July 2023. He told the court her phone connected to a cell tower in the town of Outram on the morning of May 22, 2023. That was the day after mushroom expert Dr. Tom May logged a sighting of death cap mushrooms at Nielsen Street in Outram on the website iNaturalist. Dr. Sorrell told the jury Ms. Patterson's phone was likely stationary in Outram for at least 13 minutes. It is possible that there was a visit to Nielsen Street at that time. The court also heard Ms. Patterson's mobile connected to a cell tower in the town of Loch on April 28, 2023. That was 10 days after Christine McKenzie posted an iNaturalist observation of the toxic fungi. Ms. McKenzie worked for the Victorian Poisons Information Centre for 17 years, answering calls to the Poisons hotline. She told the jury she was on a walk with her family around the Loch Recreation Oval when she spotted death caps growing under an oak tree. I'm very well aware of the toxicity of Amanita phalloides, and it's a popular area for people to walk their dogs. Ms. McKenzie told the court she picked as many of the death cap mushrooms as she could find to dispose of them because she feared someone else might pick the poisonous mushrooms, mistakenly thinking they were an edible variety. I just wanted to get rid of as many as I could find. Prosecutors claim Ms. Patterson deliberately poisoned her relatives with individual...
So, Funky Tom, he just left them there, right?
Yeah.
Funky
Very
Tom,
irresponsible.
He just left them there with a fucking directions, basically. Here you go. Here's a Google Map direction to get there. People who would like to poison their relatives or anybody, here you go. Here's a picture of them. And here is exactly where to goddamn find them on Google Maps, right? Thank you, Funky Tom. And I'm just doing a community service. I'm warning people. Whereas this other chick, she actually got a doggy poop bag, right? And picked them all up, got as many as she could, and disposed of them. Which one is doing a community service? Funky Tom or other chick?
Right?
Right? Funky Tom left them there.
Like,
Other
okay,
chick got rid of them.
Okay, warn people. It's still a little sus, but fine, warn people, but then at least pick them up and get rid of them.
She did both, right?
Yeah.
She took a photo, she put it on the iNaturalist website, but she also got the fuck rid of them, right? Funky Tom just fucking left them there. I had someone in my my comments the other day have a go at me because she's like, I think you have the wrong idea about this. He was just doing a community service and she is the murderer. He was just trying to warn people. And I'm like, well, he also left her a map, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
If you think she's the murderer and that's how she found them, then how is he not in some way responsible?
I don't know if I'd say I'd say it was kind of
stupid.
Yeah, naive. The least he could do is kind of pick some of them up and get rid of them. If he's going to the trouble of like cataloging this for people to help people out, then get rid of them. Plus their spores would spread as well. I assume that's how mushrooms procreate. So by getting rid of them, you prevent more of these shrooms from growing nearby.
You know how they procreate?
I assume. I don't know. It's mold or fungus or...
Not funky, Tom. Hey, Emu Warrior, how are you? Christine's been a member for 17 months. Oh my God. Thank you so much for being a member for that long. That's so sweet of you. Shock and horror, hella face. Well, this is it. Like, this is so damning. Oh my God. Are they endangered? Should probably protect them. I don't think so. No. And
somebody think of the mushrooms?
Someone think of the mushrooms. Oh, you sneezing, mate? You okay? He's all right. Yeah, mushy. All right, let's keep going.
Individual beef Wellingtons laced with the lethal mushrooms. She has admitted to foraging for mushrooms but denies seeking out death caps and maintains her relatives' deaths were a terrible accident. Samantha Butler for 10 News for...
Well, they certainly were an accident.
Trump harangues South Africa president.
Harangues.
Harangues. Harangues? I don't
know. Yep. Okay. So, more about the location of where she was found. So let's...
Tonight, as we cross the halfway point of the Leongatha mushroom
only halfway?
Digital forensics could reveal where Erin Patterson picked the mushrooms she used to allegedly kill 3 people.
Allegedly.
Taking the stand for the first time, former Victorian Poisons Information Centre specialist Christine McKenzie, testifying that around 3 months before the fatal lunch, she had discovered death cap mushrooms growing in Lock, roughly 30 kilometres north of Erin Patterson's Leongatha home.
I was very keen to remove all the samples I could find of them.
She tried to destroy them, worried they could have been mistaken for harmless mushrooms. Later that day, McKenzie reported their location to citizen science website, iNaturalist.
About 2 metres from Large Oak Tree on Lock Recreation Reserve.
While originally claiming she had sourced the mushrooms used in the beef Wellington lunch from Woolworths and a Chinese grocer, Erin Patterson has since admitted she foraged them. Today, her phone records were shown to the court in a bid to tie her to the towns of Lock and Outram, both known death cap mushroom locations. Digital forensic science expert Dr. Matthew Sorrell.
What? He's a digital forensic science expert?
Well, he looks like he'd be looking at illegal searches, so I'm just saying.
Okay.
Sorrell testifying Erin Patterson's phone spent 13 minutes connected to a tower near Outram.
It indicates at that point the phone is more likely to be relatively stationary.
The prosecution focusing on a particular spot where Patterson's phone pinged. On the same street, death cap mushrooms were reported to be growing the day before.
It is...
Okay. Pinged. On the same street. I have a problem. You can't ping on a street. Unless you're like in a really built up area, right? So one thing I've learned from watching a lot of cell site experts speak, and especially from watching Sire do his testimony in the state testimony in the recent California trial. Was it California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hairdresser.
The hairdresser one. Yep. He explained in great detail why it's not possible for a ping to be that specific unless you've got multiple cell towers very close to one another and therefore can triangulate where somebody is from that data. And the only places where there are multiple cell towers so close together are in like very metropolitan areas, right? So where there's lots and lots of people all together, right? Now we're talking about rural areas here. We're talking about like Locke and Outram. There would be it's a little bit like in the Idaho case where you've got like wide expansive area and small population and only a few cell towers covering a wide expansive area. For you to say, he pinged here is absolutely ridiculous, because when you ping, you're pinging like in a 20 to 50 mile radius, right? So to say it's on one street is very, very misleading. They ping because they need to. So unless the word ping is being reported incorrectly and actually they have GPS or Google location data or something like that to back it up, I have a problem with this.
Is possible there was a visit.
And at the location in Locke 10 days after it was reported by Christine McKenzie.
Just can't believe it.
Erin Patterson has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
We're live from the lands of the Kulin Nation, and Erin Pearson is the Age's crime and justice reporter. She joins us now from Morwell. Erin, we heard some of the testimony from poison expert Christine McKenzie there. What else did she have to add?
That's right, guys. She took the jury through a little bit about a trip that she made to regional Victoria down in Gippsland back on April 18, 2023. This is a few months before the fatal lunch. And she said she was visiting there, her daughter. She decided to go on a bit of a walk with her dog and the grandchild. And as they were walking around the reserve, she was telling the jury that she found what she believed to be death cap mushrooms growing not too far from the base of an oak tree. She was taking the jury through this trek, and she said that as a mushroom expert and also somebody who was really interested in mushrooms, who loved fungi, that she decided to try and take some photos and see if she could identify them. And when she did that, she said she realised they were death caps and decided that she better remove them.
I have to say, I don't think I'd ever heard of digital forensics until today when an expert in that took the stand. Can you take us through his evidence?
Where have you been living?
Yes, we heard from Matthew Sorrell. He's an expert based in Adelaide who's come over here as a prosecution witness, and he was asked to go through Erin Patterson's phone records for a 4-year period leading up to May 2023. He was asked to look at 2 specific locations in Locke and Outram. Now, they're 2 locations that the prosecution allege Erin Patterson's phone visited and where there was death cap mushrooms were known to grow. So Matthew Sorrell took us through quite a bit of complex evidence, lots of phone tower pinging and explaining really the logistics behind getting cell tower data. A lot of it was pretty dry, but he did explain towards the end of his evidence that from what he could see, there was phone towers in those 2 areas that did place a strong possibility of Erin Patterson's phone being there not long after some scientists or some...
Wow, a strong possibility that her phone was there.
How scientific.
Great. That's very scientific, isn't it? It's very convincing. Right?
Citizen scientists located death cap mushrooms in those 2 regional areas. Now, those 2 regional areas are maybe 30 minutes apart in the Gippsland area. And Matthew Sorrell was asked to sort of track whether or not the phone connected to Erin Patterson would have travelled from near the area where she lives, that Corumburra type area, Leongatha, that spot, down to those areas. So, he sort of took us through that and said that there was a possibility that on those 2 locations she had visited those areas.
So, Erin, that evidence is going to be pivotal for the prosecution. The amount of detail in those phone records is quite extraordinary.
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
it is extraordinary. And Matthew Sorrell was explaining that it is quite unique for him to be asked to look at such a vast amount of records. One reason being it's so expensive, but obviously time-consuming doing so. And that's when we heard a little bit about how accurate these records could be as well. And he was asked a lot of questions about that. And he did look at the possibility of them being there. And he said it was sort of more likely that she was in the Outram area for about 35 minutes or so in May 2023, but probably less of a possibility that she was visiting that in the Outram area for about, and he said it was sort of more likely that she was in the Outram area for about 35 minutes or so in May 2023.
It was sort of more likely that she was in the Outram area for about 30 minutes in May 2023. Sort of more likely. She was in the Outram area. Do you know how big the Outram area is? And we're talking about a tree. So they're trying to get it to be at a tree. And she could have been more than likely in the Outram area. What the fuck is this? No, she doesn't think she sounds dumb. These people think this is pivotal evidence for the prosecution. And you know what? It probably is. It probably bloody is. This is ridiculous. Holy fuck. Holy freaking fuck.
But probably less of a possibility that she was visiting that lock area in April 2023. So there is sort of a bit of a room for error there, they were explaining, and it really depends on where cell towers are. In Melbourne, we know that they're almost on the corner of every street, but in regional Victoria and regional parts of Australia, they're far more sparse, and they may be on the top of windmills or water tanks and farms and things like that. So it can be a little bit more difficult to pinpoint an exact location in regional areas.
So, Erin, I notice you keep using this word you say he was using a possibility, and I imagine a lot in this trial will depend on how big a possibility, whether it's a probability, and then perhaps how big a probability it would be. Did anything emerge from the evidence on that question?
Yeah, it was more looking at whether or not the records were consistent with the prosecution case, that Erin Patterson and her phone were in these locations. So Sorrell was asked questions around, does that fit with the prosecution case? And he was sort of asked to outline, what that possibility would be. And as I mentioned before, that Outram location, May 22nd, 2023, he said there was more of a possibility she was in that area. The phone that is registered to her seemed to sort of ping in an area constantly for about 35 minutes, whereas other dates and times that they looked at, she may have just driven through the nearby areas. So we know one of those locations, guys, is right near the South Gippsland Highway, a very, very busy road. So there was a lot of questioning about that possibility that could she have been driving through the area, or was it more of a possibility that she was spending a bit of time there?
Oh, I wonder if there was a traffic snarl. Because it's a highway, right?
Yeah.
So if she was there for about half an hour, I wonder if, maybe she was stuck in traffic.
Yeah.
Anyone checked to see whether there was road work or something like that around there? Or maybe is there a coffee shop that she was at? She'd like to pay cash for things. Maybe there's no bank records of that.
True.
What the f is going on, right? It's a nice area. There's lots of landscape. Maybe she was just hanging out. Do you have her near the tree? Do you have her near the actual tree? Right? Because here's the thing. I don't hear anyone talking about her accessing the actual page on iNatural's website where Funky Tom or this other woman posted. If they've got that, cool. Right? I'm not saying that puts the mushrooms in her hands, but that's a biggie. Right? I can't continue to be like, this is all sounding a bit sus, but not sure. But yeah, if they can actually, if they can see on her phone or on her computer that she, before these trips, went and accessed those posts on the iNaturalist website, then I think they've got a lot more. But they're not showing that. So why? Why can't they show that? Show me her looking at those posts.
Yeah.
Why not? How can they not show that? They're relying so heavily on these posts, but they're not showing me that.
Yeah.
Take us inside the court. How did she appear, Erin, today?
Yeah, so there's multiple television screens in the courtroom that different pieces of evidence are projected onto for the jury to follow, for members of the public in the courtroom to follow, but also for Erin Patterson. She has her own television screen in the dock next to her on the left-hand side, and she spent most of today sort of staring down at that, following the evidence. As we know, these call charge records were significant. There was pages and pages of documents and different maps as well, maps of where these cell tower locations are and how close they are to these different locations in regional Victoria. So she was sort of staring at that screen for most of the day. There was members of the Wilkinson and Patterson families in court. They were sitting on the other side of the courtroom, but it was a packed courtroom again today. We've barely seen spare seats in the room for the whole of the trial, and we're at day 14 now, and the line outside the courtroom is certainly getting longer and longer in the mornings.
All right, Erin, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Oh, her name's Erin.
Thanks, guys.
Sus. Well, it's not like she searched for death cat mushrooms or anything.
No.
Except she did, but that was 14 months earlier. Right? Okay, so let's update the timeline. So remember how there's this website that has quite a good timeline. So let's see what it's got to show us. So they have, obviously they update it in real time. So it's got all these extra witnesses on it now. So look at all the extra little dots. Okay, so April 18, 2023, a retired poisons expert finds death cap mushrooms under an oak tree in Lock and posts a photo and location on publicly accessible fungi website called iNaturalist. In April 28, 2023, prosecution says Erin travels to the Lock area, then buys a dehydrator from a store in Leongatha at 12:17 p.m. All right, but I need to go back a little bit because, have they? Oh, they haven't done it. You'd think that they would have put in that she searched for the death cap mushrooms and stuff back in 2022 because that's when that happened. World-renowned mycologist Dr. Tom May, or Funky Tom, as he's known, finds a death cap mushroom along Nielsen Street in Outram and posts a photo and location on iNaturalist. Now, this bit is new. The prosecution says Erin travelled to the Lock and Outram areas according to her phone records. Isn't it interesting the way they just put that there? Right? So just according to her phone records, she travelled to the Lock and Outram areas. That's all they have to put. They don't have to say she went to the actual place where Funky Tom posted. They don't have to say she went and foraged for mushrooms. They just have to say she went to the Lock and Outram areas. Good for them. Erin invites Don and Gail Patterson, Heather and Ian to her Leongatha house for lunch on the 29th. So she was quite in advance. Like her invitation was on July 16, 2 weeks in advance from the lunch. So she was really like planning this.
Yeah.
Simon texts Erin and declines the lunch invitation only the day before.
So I guess
okay, so the lunch.
Blame her, connect his illness from the previous year to her.
Hey, yeah.
He supposedly was really sick.
Yeah.
The previous year, so I'm just wondering what he thought at the time.
Well, that's interesting because I wonder whether she'd cooked for him in between.
Yeah, that too.
I'm really interested in why they dropped the charges.
That's weird.
I'd love to know why they dropped the charges. I'm sure it'd be something like that, like that he's trusted her to cook for him or something in between times.
And
If
they try to bring that charge and it all falls apart mid-trial, it would look
really and
bad.
the rest of all these other charges fall apart. Then
the jury would just be like, yeah, this is BS too.
Yeah. So now this is interesting, and I'm going to come to something kind of weird in a minute. So after the meal, she tells them she has cancer and asks for advice on how to tell the kids. According to Ian, the only guest to survive, the guests developed gastro-like symptoms, including diarrhea and vomiting later that night. Now, July 30, so the day after, Erin feels sick and has diarrhea, according to her son. She tells her son this. Don and Gail are transported to Corumburra Hospital around 10 a.m. before they're moved to Dandenong Hospital. So they're sick enough to go and be taken to a bigger hospital. Simon picks up Heather and Ian.
They probably weren't able to be treated properly at the smaller hospital.
Exactly.
So they probably were choppered there.
Yeah. Heather and Ian, Simon picks up Heather and Ian and takes them to Corumburra Hospital and then Leongatha Hospital. Now, Erin drives her son to a flying lesson more than 1 hour away from Leongatha. So he has these regular flying lessons. They've got money, by the way.
Yeah.
The lesson is cancelled while they were on their way. Her son said she did not use the toilet during the journey. So her toilet habits the day after are coming into evidence. Yeah. They questioned the son about this. The prosecution said...
young son?
I think he's in his teens.
Child.
By deposition. There was a deposition of both the children that was played. Yeah, so they weren't put up on the stand in court. Her son said she did not use the toilet during the journey. The prosecution says Erin serves her son and daughter leftovers from the beef Wellington meal for dinner. Now, I don't know whether it's on this timeline or not. No, it's not. Okay, but it mustn't have been during the journey that the son testified about, but there is CCTV footage that's been brought into evidence of her stopping at a servo. And for you Americans, servo is a gas station.
Petrol.
Yeah. She stopped at a servo, and the CCTV footage of this, she stopped at a servo to go and went to the toilet, bathroom in American terms, but she only went for 9 seconds. They timed it. They timed her toilet visit. That's not enough for someone with gastro.
Well,
right?
That's not enough to really do anything. Wash your hands, maybe.
I haven't got a clue, right? Can you believe this shit's, sorry, wrong word, coming into evidence?
Phrasing.
Right?
Okay, maybe she had a fart, as Di said. Maybe she was trying to be proper and...
They brought in CCTV footage of her going to the toilet.
I mean... Yeah, prosecutors love to...
What is going on here? Right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what they were trying to say there. What, she went to the bathroom to have an alibi for being sick, but it really wasn't.
Okay, if she really wanted to show that she was being sick, if she was really playing it up, she would have stayed in there for 10 minutes.
Here she
right?
sits
I think
brokenhearted.
that totally, like, okay,
But
so
only
the
for-
prosecution showing that is actually exculpatory in, like, as far as I'm concerned, because she's not playing a game, like, she's not pretending.
I mean,
right?
would she have any idea they were going to get the CCTV of her?
Yeah, like
Like
she's
doing a
not.
little potty dance and
Yeah, exactly. Like she's just
that.
living her life. She's just doing normal stuff. She's going to the loo, big deal. Right? Like if she's
There's
trying
a-
to cover up a poisoning and pretending to be sick, she'd stay in there. But she's
Yeah.
not.
That's why, yeah.
She has no idea what's going on. She doesn't even know that these people are deathly ill right now. So that's exculpatory.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't make it sus. And there's been times I've had to go to the bathroom and it's been a false alarm, for lack of a better term.
They're trying to say she lied because earlier she said she had a really bad stomach to one of her sons who stayed over in the morning. Yeah, I know what they're trying to say, Excel spreadsheet. I get that. But that was a private conversation between her and her son. And she, as far as she's concerned, she's not spinning a lie or anything like that. She felt sick earlier. And she's got nothing to prove to anybody by how long she goes to the toilet.
Good Lord, we're actually examining her bathroom habits right now.
Exactly, right? So let's assume she's innocent, right? Because that's what we do here. We assume someone's innocent until we've heard as much as we possibly can, and then if we're overwhelmed by evidence, then we go, okay, cool, right? Guilty. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So assuming she's innocent, then she's served this lunch to people. She doesn't know how dire of a situation this is yet, right? She's just taken him to this flying lesson. She's felt a bit gross, but okay. Like she's told her son about it, but it's not too bad, but she's not feeling that well. And she stops for a quick toilet break and she comes back to the car. She has nothing to prove to anybody by how long she stays in the toilet. So how is the 9-second toilet trip relevant at all?
Maybe the
if
bathroom
she's
was
innocent,
maybe the bathroom was just really, really filthy.
or that. Just want to get the hell out of there.
Trust me, American gas station bathrooms, you don't want to be in there for long.
Oh, Excel spreadsheet, 100%. They're trying to destroy her credibility. Sure. They're trying to make out like she lied. She lied to her son about her stomach ache. She's a filthy liar who lies and then goes to the public toilet and only stays there for 9 seconds, even though she has gastro. I can't even. When I heard that they had that they brought that in, I was just like, what? What is this even coming to? This is just beyond.
Perhaps they were trying to say why the other four got seriously ill, but why she didn't, if they ate all the same beef Wellington.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. We've had a theory about that here, and that is that if she forages for mushrooms regularly and she eats, like she's obsessed with mushrooms, she loves mushrooms, right? It's possible, and I don't know if
pure
we're not mushroom experts like all these other people, right? But is it possible that she has developed a tolerance to these things?
Over
right?
time.
Yeah, over a long period of time. Like she forages for mushrooms, she eats a lot of mushrooms. Is it possible she's eaten some and eaten some and eaten some to a point where she can eat them and not die?
Yeah.
Is she an indestructible mushroom eater? I don't know. That's why she looks like a mushroom to me now. And I don't know if anyone, like Princess Bride immunity, right? Yeah, exactly, right? So, and I don't think anyone has ever tested this theory because they're so freaking toxic. You can't test it.
Yeah.
You can't test to see whether or not it's possible that someone can be immune to these things, can build up immunity to these things. But I mean, it's been proven with other toxins.
Yeah,
that people can build up immunity to them. So if she has eaten them, and remember that her kids don't like mushrooms, so she's not giving them to the kids. So she has been foraging for mushrooms, putting her own food, and built up her own immunity to them. And then she goes and puts them into her guest's food and her own food, and she's the only one to not die. Still has mild symptoms, but not die. What's
There's
going
a
on?
paper, Tolerance to Lethal Somebody's actually done this.
What?
We'll have to look into
Really?
that. And maybe we could ask AG.
Yes, let's ask AG. Oh, yeah, right.
I don't know if he
AG
knows anything. But
biochemist.
yeah.
That's actually a really good question. Yes, we have a member who is in the field of botany.
Tolerance to lethal doses of
I'll screenshot that.
That might be easier.
That is great. Thank you.
I mean, it could be BS. It's just a theory I had. Because, I mean, supposedly the kids don't like mushrooms, so she didn't feed them to the kids. If her estranged husband wasn't around, so she was the only one going crazy for mushrooms. I don't,
1997. Don't think iPhone was invented. Not sure how reliable. What does it have to do with the iPhone? Excel spreadsheet. It doesn't matter. Like the I think you might be joking, but the mushrooms were invented back then. Or could it be she had the clean piece of beef because it was served on a different plate? Who knows? Who knows? Yeah, maybe she served herself a different piece. Who knows?
I mean, it all comes down to state of mind.
It could have just been luck.
Yeah.
That she didn't get any. I mean, and of course, like, jurors will look at that as like a lot of bad luck for her.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure
or good
she's
luck
cooked,
that she didn't get it. But yeah,
no pun
yeah.
intended.
But I don't know. I'm of the point of view that prosecutors, especially today, because of the fact that they have this digital evidence to work with, they are able to construct a case against anybody for anything, pretty much, because they can find searches that you've done and places that you've been and put them all together and make it look like you were planning something. Anything. Absolutely anything. It's really scary. It's really, really scary what they can do. And it seems irrefutable. And we should all be really frightened of it because there seems no other way to get away from this, because we're all connected to this.
Yeah.
Tolerated doses,
of an extract from the death cap, or Amanita phalloides, induced tolerance to lethal doses of the mushroom. Up to 100% of the mice survived an LD90 of the extract if they were pre-treated for 1 week. And 75% survived if they received 3 doses of the extract within 48 hours prior to the challenge.
Wow. Excel spreadsheet. Up to today, everything is circumstantial evidence, though. Keywords are beyond reasonable doubt. Okay. Well, in the last week, I've searched for several kinds of poison. I've searched for K-bar knives. I've searched for
I'm screwed,
some bombings, all sorts of things, right? Now, if someone were to try to pin some murder on me and they happen to be via those means, then my searches would be, as you say, beyond reasonable doubt. but I've searched for those things because of different reasons. But that
Research
wouldn't hold
for
up.
The stream.
Yeah, but
Or
would
curiosity.
yeah, but would a jury necessarily believe that? Like they go, well, that's unlucky.
Yeah.
Here's me going, well, you know what? She's interested in mushrooms, and you can tell she's interested in mushrooms. She didn't make a secret of that. She told her friends that.
Yeah.
She went online and spoke to her friends about the fact she was interested in foraging, and she was hiding mushrooms in her kids' food. Like mushrooms are full of iron, right? They're full of lots of different vitamins. So she made no secret of the fact that she was interested in mushrooms, she was interested in foraging, and she was also interested in true crime as well. Right?
Yes. And all her
like
friends
us.
turned on her.
Like
all
us.
her little true crime friends that
yeah,
she talked to.
don't make friends with true crime people.
No. Oh, they all turned on her in a second.
Yeah. So here's the deal, right? So yes, it's beyond doubt that she typed those things in, which is a shame for her because we're all typing things in all the time that are beyond doubt that we did it. We did that. But context matters. Yeah. The odds are definitely not look on her unless Mandy comes up with some crazy shit. Mandy. Hey, Anna Lisette, how are you? Amanita toxins consist of amino acid residue. Maybe the body can learn to destroy the toxins before they land where they do fatal damage. Yes, maybe. The body's an amazing thing. Human body is an amazing thing. Lots of people down here forage mushrooms. Oh, you're down in Melbourne? You're down in Victoria? Are you, Mark Harding? I should hide them in my cat's food. Not that particular breed of mushroom, but yes, mushrooms, sure. Hey, Schnivosh! How are you, Schnivosh? Good to see you. It's so good to see you. Alrighty. And by the way, Sarah says hi. Sarah's feeling much better today. Do you guys have these in the US? Do you guys? Don't go looking.
Yeah.
Don't go and look.
No, that's just what Anna was saying is first thing you learn about picking wild mushrooms in the U.S. is how to identify amanitas and avoid them.
Ah. You're in West Gippsland. Ooh. Well, don't go looking on the iNaturalist website. It's bad news. Yeah. And see, that's the thing, right? And not iNaturist either. You'll see other kinds of mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not the good kind, or maybe the good kind, depends.
It depends what you're into, really. Actual law has nothing to do with the jury's verdict. Most of the time. Aussie law, I think. It's what they believe to be true, and it's extremely scary, yeah. I wrote quite a long response to someone on Twitter yesterday about this. The deal is that we are brought up to believe that the government is here to protect us, and therefore they bring before us generally only somebody who is guilty. All right? Yeah. They do that, and we're conditioned to believe that from birth, from as we're children. The police are here to protect us. The government, they bring us the criminal, and we look at that criminal and we go, okay, why aren't they guilty? Why should I believe that they're not guilty? Of course they are. They brought him to us, right? And if there's questions about other people who might have done it, they'll just say things like, oh, that person was cleared. Oh, we investigated that line of inquiry thoroughly, and we closed that line of inquiry because that person was cleared, or that was thoroughly investigated. And people will generally accept that, right? Yeah. They'll just accept it because the government is here to protect us, and there are levels of investigators, and there's the FBI, and there's special services, and there's all these people who are trained to do this. So you trust it,
And
right?
then the media gets involved and perpetuates that narrative.
The media
and
only tells you certain bits.
Look at the bad man.
Look at the bad man. But then the defendant doesn't have that luxury, right? So they don't have the luxury to say, "Oh, we checked that line of inquiry and we cleared it," right? Oh yeah, we looked into that and that's not true. No one believes the defendant because the defendant's already a criminal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. No one believes her because she's already a criminal. She has to prove she's not a criminal.
Yep.
And that's not how it should be. She's not a criminal. She's innocent right now. Right? So it should be the other way around. We should be not believing anything that the government has to say about her. They should be convincing us from scratch. Everything clean slate. Tell us why she's guilty, because she's not until we've heard everything and believed it completely. Now, all this stuff about the cell tower pings is absolute horseshit, right? You don't ping on a street in a very rural town. That's just not possible, right? So unless he had something far more definitive than that to show why he could narrow it down to a street, that's a lie. That's a flat out lie, right? So maybe it was being reported incorrectly. That's possible too, right? But even if she was on a street, that's not the tree. And where's the record to show that she accessed the actual page on iNaturalist website of either Funky Tom's post or the Miss Foot, the Victoria Foot, her other post, the one that actually got rid of the mushrooms. She picked them up so that people wouldn't get to them. The responsible one, she put one there as well. And where is Erin Patterson actually visiting those two web posts, right? Because they haven't said. They've got her phone records. They've got her computer. Where is it? Show me. Yeah. Hey, Mimi Tanya, yeah, if you want something screwed beyond repair, let the government help. Thank you, Half Irish, for tagging AG. I'm really curious to see what he thinks about that theory. Yeah. If they had it, we would know. Yeah, if they had solid evidence that she accessed those two posts, we would so know about it. The specific fees charged by Dr. Matthew Sorrell for his expert services in mobile phone location analysis are typically charged between $300 to $600 per hour. Oh, Excel spreadsheet, that's pretty normal. That's pretty normal for an expert for an expert services witness. So I don't really have a problem with that. I wish I could have seen his testimony. It's annoying that this is so far away from me and this trial goes for so long. If it was only like a week trial, I would travel for it.
Yeah.
But it would be me being away for months. But I really wish I could see his testimony, because it sounds to me like he's a very low-level cell site data analyst. If he's even a cell site data analyst, that's not what his name was. He digital forensics, I think, was his title. Digital forensics is a slightly different field. To actually pinpoint locations, that's cell site data analysis. So that's a different specialty. So yeah, like Cyray is a cell site data expert. And he leaves digital forensics to a different person. So digital forensics tends to be cell data extraction.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the other one is just for like analyzing the cell phone signal and where it was.
Yeah. So his testimony seems to be very top level, broad. Anyway, guys, tomorrow, since we are talking such things, tomorrow we are going to do Kohberger. Brian Kohberger's defense has filed for a motion for continuance. I'm going to be talking about that and some other things. Haven't touched on the Kohberger case for a while, so I've got a bit of catching up to do. What do you think? Do you think that they will get a continuance and we're not looking at a trial this year? Don't know. What do you think, Di, in chat? Yeah, so I think I might run that actually closer to either 7:15 or 7:30 tomorrow. A little bit more time to prepare in the morning because it's my morning. But yeah, I need to do a little bit of backing up and have a bit more of a look into that. But yeah, I didn't actually see that one coming. I didn't think that they would file for a continuance. But yeah, how much time could they possibly get? There's so much discovery there. There's so many reasons to hold this thing off that it's like, well, how long's a piece of string?
Yeah.
Really. So I'm really interested to see what the upshot of that's going to be. And also I'm just going to go through the reasons that that Ann Taylor's put forward for her request. But yeah, that's tomorrow, guys. So stay tuned for that, and we will we'll get our Kohbergers on tomorrow. Thank you so much, Mr. Daly, and we will keep up to date with mushroom murders probably about once a week from here on. Yeah, get your mushies on. And Sarah says thank you for all of the kind wishes. And if you have donated to his medical fund, I much appreciate it. If you still want to donate, you absolutely can anytime you like. Don't have to be in chat for it. It is my PayPal and my Buy Me a Coffee is pinned to the top. Buy Me a Coffee is really easy to remember. It's just buymeacoffee.com/excited. So thank you so much for that. And that means that I just don't have to worry about the 30% or so that YouTube takes. So much appreciated. Thank you for being in chat, Mark Harding. Much appreciated. I'm not gonna. Oh, you wish you had money to donate, dear, but I don't. Oh, that's okay. Never expected. Love having you here, Steph. Love having you here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Half Irish. And yeah, Seraph is feeling a lot better. Not quite back to his normal self, but close. So I really thought that we're going to be sans serif for a while there. So yeah, he's nearly 19. So really, really hoping that he gets completely through this one. So thank you. Thank you. I found you last night and have really enjoyed listening to you. Oh, that's so sweet of you, Mimi Tanya. Lovely. So nice to have you here. Welcome. Hope you stick around. So yeah, they see you tomorrow.
Yes.
Lovely healing vibes. I'm not going to bother redirecting, but everybody, I'm going to head over to Sean's. So say hello, Raid, when you get there. And I'm sure he's watching Karen Reid. He usually is at this time. So healing energy for Sarah. Love having you in chat, Laura. Mwah, my sweetheart. Okay, time for the song. Time for the song.
Her name was Ella. She was an Aussie. She and make some live streams. The co-host is Dolly and she dances sometimes. The words are always so loud and because she's an 803. To the attention